So guys, we are going to make the wheel. So if you haven't already, you're going to create a document, and it's going to be called wheel.
Well,
Wheel. Oh, dude, my child has a shark, like a stuffed shark, and he calls it a whale. And he said, he said something about there being a whale, and I said it's a shark, and he's like, no, it's a whale. I said it's a shark. It has gills and teeth. And he's like, it's a whale, and then he ran off. But then, like later, it wasn't home when this happened, but later, he went up to my wife and he told her, he says, Daddy says this is shark, but it's a whale.
If he says it's a whale, it's a whale. I don't understand what you're doing.
I'm like, bro, it's not a whale, it's a shark. But he's like, it's a whale.
You're beefing with your son over a shit.
This is pretty funny. This is not the first time either. He's very insistent on things. So we're gonna make the wheel, and I'll just spoiler alert: we're using a revolve. Gentlemen, hush. Now, I will tell you that it's very easy to understand how revolves work after you've already done it. But if you've never done one before, it may not be obvious at all what's going on. In fact, it may be very unintuitive and very difficult to see it. But I promise you, once you see us make the wheel, you'll be like, oh, that's really easy. And you'll understand how revolves work. So we're going to make a sketch on the front plane. What are we doing?
Sketch on the front plane.
Sketch on the front plane. And you have to understand, okay, just watch. Don't do this, just watch. The way a revolve works is you make a profile, like I made a rectangle, and then I made another rectangle, okay? Don't do this, just watch. And if I wanted to revolve that, I would click on the revolve feature, and I would choose my profile that I'm revolving, and then the key thing is I choose my axis. So if that's the profile that I am revolving around, I guess I better draw a line. Here. I'll draw a line on the origin. There, problem solved. If I wanted to revolve this, so what you see there is what we refer to as the profile. And if you can picture that revolved around this line, it's going to make something like this.
Whoa.
Okay? So we are making a profile that will then revolve around a central axis.
Are we just drawing a line?
So, on your sketch, pay attention. We're drawing a. Why can't you delete? Rude. Just delete it. How hard?
You
How
don't
hard
know
is
how to
it?
use the software?
I don't know why this is so complicated.
I do believe me.
I don't know why it's being about. Anyway, we're drawing a sketch here. We are going to draw the profile. So if you can imagine cutting the wheel in half and then looking at it, we're going to draw profile. So we're not going to get too terribly caught up. You okay over there?
Situation. I'm
All right. We're not going to get too terribly caught up. Gentlemen, pay attention, please. We're going to get too terribly caught up in the minor details of this. You just kind of need to trust me on this, that we are going to do like the basic overall idea of making this wheel. So we need to make the center and the outside. Those parts will be the same for all of you, but then we got to do the spokes. Everybody's spokes are a little bit different. So I'm going to start off with a simplified version, and then you all will have some time that you can spend to change it and modify it to make spokes the way you want. You understand? Yes or yeah? And I might show you some techniques to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing basic outline of the wheel. So I'm going to zoom in a bit here. Okay. I am going to make a rectangle like this, where the bottom is aligned with the origin. We understand? Yes, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm going to make another rectangle out here like this. And that is going to be also having the bottom aligned with the x-axis.
Whoa. Whoa. What's there, Bucko? Bucko.
Gentlemen, hear yourselves. We good so far? We're not good so far?
We're great.
No
No,
worries.
Okay.
Can I ask why you're still
Bro, dude, what are you even rambling about? What are you yapping about?
What are you
yapping about now, boy?
Now, if you want to complicate this more, you can. I'm going to encourage you, though, just go with this basic for now. You can, once you kind of see what's going on there, you can change it later. Okay. We're going to focus on the outside first. Okay? I always think you should focus on the biggest dimensions first, because then everything fits inside it, right? Nice and neat. So what I'm going to do is, and you could do this in multiple ways, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do a rectangle like this and another rectangle like this. And I actually am having these two rectangles aligned. You see how when I'm creating the second rectangle, the line is already vertically aligned with the previous rectangle. Do we see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have questions before I continue?
Nope.
What I'm going to do next is I'm going to use the line tool. What tool?
Line tool.
And I'm going to draw an angled line like that. No constraints other than the coincident constraint. And I'm going to draw another one down here like this. Again, no constraints other than the coincident constraint. I have exaggerated everything. But this is 100% like shape-wise what I want. Okay, now what I'm going to do before I start dimensioning anything is I'm going to do some constraints. But I want you to kind of understand what I've drawn. If you look at your wheel, there's like a top lip and a bottom lip, right? And if you look carefully, they're straight on the outside, but as they go on the inside, there's an angle, right? You see that? So that's what I've drawn. So what we need is we need some constraints. We want equal constraints. What type?
Equal.
I want to make sure that these rims are the same height. And these angled things should be the same length, right? Yes, yeah. So these two angled things are equal, and these two rectangles have the same height. If you drew it correctly, this rectangle should also be vertically aligned. This should be vertically aligned with this. So they're the same width. We're good? Yeah. Questions so far? We're good? Okay. We're going to start dimensioning things. So the first dimension we're going to do is the easiest, and that's the height. So you can get your calipers, and you can measure the height. Yeah?
Yep.
You're getting about 14.3.
14.3.
Easy.
600. How the hell? 724.
Okay? So I got my height. I'm going to start off with that because it's a very simple, easy dimension to visualize and understand. Questions so far? We're good?
We're great.
So after you have your height, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the overall diameters. Now, let's get the number first. So if I want to get the overall diameter, I'm going to do it like this, in between the teeth.
Yeah.
Okay? Like that. We're good? Yeah? I'm getting about 36.7 or 36.8, somewhere around there. Okay? Are we good so far?
Yeah.
So you got your number. Yes, we're good? You got your number? Yeah? Okay, now, watch up here what I do. If I were to dimension from this edge to like the center, that would technically be a radius.
Yeah. So maybe you have to go to
So Watch and learn.
Learning and watching.
If I draw a line here,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Strength, dude.
if I draw a line here, it's vertical. It's vertical. Okay. And I'm going to make it a construction line. This is key. What type of line is it?
Construction
This is
line.
key. This is key. It has to be a construction line. Okay. This is a construction line. Watch very carefully. When I dimension from the construction line to something, if I try and place my dimension here, it's going to be the distance between the two. You ready for this? If I put my dimension cursor over here, now suddenly it doubles it and it is treating it like a diameter. It realizes that this is basically a center line for something with radial symmetry, like a circle. But you have to have your cursor, and my mouse just died, but you have to have your cursor on the opposite side before you click and place it. And then when you place it, you would put in, the entire diameter, 36.8 is what I got. Now, this number's correct. You may notice that my shape is all screwy. We see that?
Yeah.
If you have that happen, okay, if you have that happen, you may have to move some things or change what you dimension to. Okay? Another thing that you can do is once you realize that this is like going to make it screwy when you put the correct number in, delete the dimension, manually move things over so that when it starts to work out, you don't have issues. Okay, you can manually move things. Okay? Manually move things so that when you do your dimension, it doesn't completely mess it up. So if you ever dimension something and it just goes bananas. Delete the dimension, move things manually in a controlled way, close to where it's going to be, and then redimension. Do we understand? Yes, yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, sir.
This is also why it can help to do overall dimensions first. But I will tell you that if you really, really know what you're doing, you'll get a feel for this. You'll realize sometimes there are specific times where a small dimension or two first might actually help, because it'll prevent what just happened here where it went screwy. But you got to really know what you're doing before you would know when to do that.
When I press the construction line, and I try to put it onto the thing.
No, you have to have it selected, and then you click construct.
Oh. That was the side from my sink. Oh god. Now,
Okay, do we have any questions? Any questions?
Hey, sir. What if I accidentally drifted my
Your brain.
the piece of all the stuff on it, the edge and stuff?
Delete your dimension, move it manually, redimension it.
And what if I accidentally moved it off of the x-axis?
Well, then it was never constrained to the x-axis, and you need to fix that. So that'd be a horizontal constraint. You horizontally constrain a corner or a line to the origin. Okay. Do we have any questions before we continue? Questions? We're good? All right, I'm going to start dimensioning things. So the first thing I'm going to dimension is this diameter. So this is not on the rims. It's just on the outer edge. It's a little bit smaller. Okay? It's a little bit smaller. So again, this is a little bit smaller. It's not on the... Somewhere around 33.9 or whatever. So watch, again, same thing. My dimension from here to the center line, but I place my dimension over here.
Because yours is already bad. You pay attention. And what I. No, you shut up. You shut up. I know. What's the thing? That's what my thing looks like. It's a user. So weird.
This is probably more like 36.9. Okay.
Okay, so that's the
We good so far? Maybe, possibly?
How though?
So I got these two diameters.
36.6.
This is to like the outer rim, and this is more like to this part, where the tire nestles in.
I was already fixing it, bro. Look, he already did something different. Yeah, my bad. And I haven't paid attention because you. I hate.
No, you're just an idiot, that's why.
I don't know what's going on back there, but I'm pretty sure it's white people's.
Do you see him?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Like,
Wow, man. Except for that dude.
that is a vibe that I got from over there.
How did you get those dimensions out in the air like that?
You dimension from what you want to the center line, and then before you click to place it, you move your cursor over here. Watch. Pay attention.
Yeah.
This is not what you want to do. Move your cursor over here, but this has to be a construction line or it's not going to work.
Okay.
You cannot do that in general. It has to be a construction line. Okay. I kind of need to move on. So, the next dimension I'm going to do, I'm going to actually get the inside of this. Okay. The inside dimension of my wheel well, or whatever you call that. Okay. Really push the calipers apart so you get the biggest number possible. So it's actually the diameter, not something less. So I'm getting about 29.4, maybe 5. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'm getting 29.7, 8, somewhere around there. I'm gonna go 29.7.
Are we doing that?
Not paying attention, obviously.
No problem.
So that's my big overall diameters to make that outer rim. We understand? Yes, say yeah. Yeah. We're good? Maybe, possibly?
I think. Yeah. No, wait. Why is it so small?
Yes, that's good.
I believe so. I believe that.
Yeah, it's true. What do you think?
I'm gonna do a couple more dimensions on my outer part, and then we can talk about the inner part.
10%.
Yeah? Okay.
It's awfully intrusive. It's very intrusive. It's like, what do we go?
Yeah, it's cool.
There is this diameter.
Is
That diameter? Right? And then there's this diameter.
Okay, that's why it's wrong because I was putting yours. Yeah. Hey, I think I fixed it.
So I already
did it. What did you measure for the bottom one there? It's like what part of
The inside.
Fuck you. You gotta change.
Hey.
No, that's
The inside.
No. Oh, okay.
Inside. Was it today?
Alright.
Yes. Wait, give me a second.
Now.
It's Aaron's birthday tomorrow.
Hey, Rock.
Yes. It's very.
We should have a birthday.
What we're gonna do next?
Wait, tell me the music.
We gotta measure two things. We're gonna measure the height or thickness of this lip, but then also the size of the angled part.
How the heck are we gonna do that?
This.
Now, what I'm gonna do, for starters, is I'm gonna measure the height of both combined.
What would what now? No, you do.
But you do you. I personally find doing the height of both combined is easiest. So I'm gonna zoom in. I'm going from here to here. Okay? I'm doing 2.
What now?
Let me move this a little bit more so you can see. Okay? I did the height of both as 2. So like the whole lip, including the angled part, okay, the whole height is 2. But I gotta get the height of either just the angled part or just the flat part. Okay? So you might get a little ballparky with your calipers.
Oh my god.
Because this is so small, this might be one of the few times we actually go to the nearest hundredth of an ounce. But again, you do you.
Woo, right inside of my blood.
That's not right. Whoa, why?
Oh, his is too. Okay.
Hey, that was because this one needs to change still.
Why is mine going for that?
Okay, now.
Which you changed right
I did a little bit of ballparking, but that's what I got.
Templeton, why is like mine going like
Delete the dimension, move it so it won't get messed up when you redimension it. Manually move things. If dimensions are making them go haywire, manually move them before you dimension it.
shut up white? Oh no.
Yeah, that actually wouldn't have fallen.
We good?
Wait,
Yeah,
not really.
Actually, dummy. Doesn't.
Whoa!
No.
This was the extra wheel.
I don't know what I'm waiting for.
You for awesome, maybe?
How in the world did you measure that small lift?
I'm measuring that tomorrow. Bro, how is that possible?
Could not be solved, my. There's no way that's a thing.
Okay, you can keep going.
Point,
Yeah, you can
point
continue.
one
Everybody else.
All right.
Yeah, nobody likes.
Now, you're gonna have to make a judgment call on what you want to do for the inside. Hey, gentlemen, pay attention.
Yes.
You have to make a judgment call. If you look very carefully, you may notice that the inside does not go all the way up to the top. You guys see that? It depends on your rims too, unfortunately.
Wings.
What?
Wings.
Okay, cute. So, if you look at your thing, gentlemen,
What's happening?
pay attention. If you look at your thing, it's a little bit more complicated than this. Watch carefully what I do here. If you look at the inside, its shape is actually more like this. I'm not saying that my dimensions are accurate, but there's an angled part. Do you guys see that?
What?
Oh, like up and
If you look inside, yeah. And so it fits on those clips a little bit easier.
What?
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah. You'll tell by, you can tell it's angled. There's discoloration. It should reflect the light differently.
Yeah, I see it.
Why did how? Oh.
Why you always mess
Oh.
up?
That's
You
so
messed-
small.
You messed it yourself up. I messed it.
Wait, no, I think that's.
I don't know what to do now. Right.
Is that the middle piece right there? Tom?
Yeah.
At the bottom of the middle piece.
So
That's it. That's
the easiest dimension is that one. It's the outer diameter of that inner piece. That's the easiest one. That's the easiest one to get.
oh that.
No, the one.
Okay.
Bro, dude.
You have to delete the dimension.
What dimension?
Well, you can trade something wrong if this is the case.
Bitumen.
So, I'm gonna delete this.
Bro, dude.
Jeez, Papa.
Let the kid be a kid.
Have a nap back there, bro?
Yeah, sleep. He's watching the fire.
Dude, that's what I used to do when I was a kid. Like,
Tier 2, like senior physics class. Tier 2 or
So I'm gonna do that outer diameter first. That's the easiest one. I'm gonna like 11.7 or something like that. Maybe 11.8.
knock it off. Come on.
Maybe 11.8. This is a diameter
How in the world did you measure that?
with
I
the
measured it.
calipers.
No, like, what did you measure?
Bro, dude.
The inside of the middle
Bro.
part.
I was saying we measured every diameter.
What?
I mean, what?
That big?
Yes? I don't know.
I
You
can't
tell
see.
me, bro.
Okay.
So you come up here and look.
No, I think I got it.
Where are you?
I feel like I'll look. Yeah.
Okay.
So, outside.
Yeah.
Outside.
You got two inner diameters.
Oh my gosh.
Two inner diameters, small and large. So this one, I got 7.6. That was like higher up inside there. Maybe 7.7, but definitely around there. And then I did this lower one.
That's not right. What's going on?
Maybe like 9 or so. Maybe 9.1.
Right.
Okay. So I got multiple diameters. Because there's this angled thing, right? So up top, I had one. And down below, at the very bottom, there's a different one. We understand? We're good?
Yes.
Understood.
Now I gotta get heights. I gotta get 3 heights. So I would recommend you use the end of the caliper, the whole gauge depth thing. So it's gonna be ballparky.
I'm gonna say point.
It's gonna always be a little bit of an estimate. So you gotta kind of do your best.
I already got it from the other.
Yes.
I got it.
Put your hand there.
Did you just call him a Giat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking a high five with us. Well,
What do we do?
Wait, what are we measuring
you
now?
get a high five. Nothing?
Yeah, it sounds
We'll go 12.3. Seems like a good idea
So
to
what
time.
are we measuring now?
Height.
Of the inside?
the
Yeah.
height of the inner circle.
So, somewhere around there.
Are we measuring the rim too, or just the?
Huh?
Like on the rim, like right here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to measure that stuff too. But I got the overall first. Always do bigger ones first. It's a general rule.
That's what I.
That's tough.
What?
I don't know. What would you manage that?
I'd say, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I got a higher. There we go. I gotta look at this.
Yeah, I got a higher number. I got like 14.
Well, y'all have different rims. Some of yours might actually be flush with the top of the outer part.
That makes more sense.
Mine is not. Mine is definitely lower. This is where it's going to get different for each wheel. Alright. The bottom part, though, is pretty much the same for everybody.
What is going on? I'm like, no, I'm not.
So I think this is like 1.5 or something close to that. Five. You're really gonna have to ballpark the angled part. That one's not gonna be an easy thing to get. So just do your best. Just ballpark it.
How'd you even know how to measure?
Skill issue.
From the top of the angle? Hey, we're good, Tony.
What'd you want?
Wait, so what is that? 1.5 come from?
That's like that.
Wait, from the bottom of the
I don't know if that number's actually right,
The
but
angle
that's
to
like
the bottom. So, so
I hope that's right. I got 2.2.
from the angle it's in there to the bottom.
From the top of the angle or the bottom of the
Makes
angle?
sense? From the bottom of it.
Okay. Here?
It's showing on the bottom point.
I'm gonna say that's just like 1.
I got 2.
I think 1 might be a little bit better.
But what is this? This one's so
And then
sharp.
the angled part, I don't know, that's rough.
How's yours? Yeah.
I'm going 2.
I don't care.
2.5. It's gonna be ballparky. It is what it is.
Chat, it will be.
It will be. It will be ballparky. It's hard to really measure those things. So do your best.
Wrong one. Hit that dot.
Now, how you do the rest of this depends on your rims. Don't actually exit your sketch yet, but just watch up here. I could revolve this right now, as is. Okay. Do you notice how it's clicking a lot? Lots of clicks here. How do we reduce the number of clicks needed?
Drag it. Kind of like drag it over. Yeah.
There's a smarter way.
Control.
Yeah, Ben, you've been summoned.
Like
There's a smarter way.
Wouldn't it be construction?
Construction lines. So go and make sure that everything is not the outside edge is a construction line. So you can click like on this line, for example, construction line, right? Click on this line, construction line.
What do you mean by like the outside edge line?
Outside of that.
So like
If you can't select something to make it a construction line, then don't worry about it.
can I highlight a bunch of stuff and turn it all to a construction line at once?
No. Well, I mean, like maybe, but like the problem is you're probably not going to select what you actually want. You're not going to be able to make everything that you actually want a construction line. And the reason for this is actually very simple. It has to do with the fact that since we use rectangles, like a rectangle might go like the whole size or whatever. It is what it is.
Wait, so any
But now that you've done this, in hindsight, you might realize maybe if I positioned my rectangles a little bit differently, it would have been easier or harder than what you had to go through now.
Wait, so any line that's like inside of another shape, like to do construction line.
For this, yeah.
I might just get the.
So that's a construction line, and those two. So we're just doing 3.
I wasn't able to do very many. So I use a lot of rectangles. You could, don't exit your sketch yet, but you'll notice when I revolve it now, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks. Wasn't as few as I'd want, but it was still not nearly as many. If I had wanted to do this where I didn't have to do like hardly any clicks at all, when I did these rectangles up here, don't just watch to see what I do. I could have done it more like this. If I had done it more like this, more like the top than the bottom, I would have been able to use more construction lines to get rid of stuff. But it is what it is. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Did you put like equals or something on these? You did? Okay.
No, just because you said that.
Okay.
You already know.
Now, listen very carefully. How you connect these depends on what type of rims you want.
They're still blue.
You have to lead it.
The easiest way, gentlemen,
Yes.
the easiest way would be to just do a rectangle from here to there. Easy. That'd be the easiest, right? That's a starting point. I'm going to do that right now. And I will show you some different techniques or things that you can do. But you may need to edit this or change it later, depending on how you want to do your spokes. We understand? For me, my spokes actually are curved and they curve like up. So I would actually have to try and simulate that curve right there, which is not easy. So I'm going to go back and do that later. But this is a starting point. We good? Yes, yeah?
Yep.
One single rectangle. You shouldn't even have to dimension anything if you just connect it. Like using, automatic constraints or whatever. Are we good so far?
Oh,
What do you mean no?
I'm so lost.
With what?
Watch the stream.
Yeah, watch your stream. Yeah, man.
Get keyboard views.
I mean, you did say you refused to watch the stream, so I mean.
I didn't say I refuse to watch the stream.
Then watch it. Yeah, watch it. And give me your mouse.
No.
No, don't give us. Don't. No. Keep your mouse. Keep the mouse.
What antics are you gonna get us with my mouse?
He can get himself a mouse earlier.
So finish your sketch and revolve. Finish your sketch and revolve. In order to revolve, all right. Hey, gentlemen, pay attention. In order to revolve, you have to select the sketches you want to revolve. So I'm going to click on all these things. And then it has this revolve axis thing. So I have to click on it first. I have to click on revolve axis, so it's blue. And then I go and I click on what I want the revolve axis to actually be.
Whoa.
And I have a wheel.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
We made a wheel.
Guys, we made a wheel.
Yeah, mine made a wheel. Oh, I did.
Oh!
Mine just disappeared.
Yo!
Well, skill issue. Skill issue.
No, it's simple to help me.
Watch the stream. Watch the stream.
I'm over here. Yeah, I mean.
Watch the stream.
So that's going to be like the base of the wheel.
That's what you said to do, and then click on the axis. Oh my god.
Sorry.
He said the construction line. Bro, we've been using this all night.
Guys, I got it.
Yes, you were good. That's a sexy
It is kind of a nice wheel, isn't it? It is kind of a nice wheel. So We will use fillets and patterns and other things to make our spokes and round things up. Put your car away, put your calipers away, make sure you pop the batteries out.